Unity is in a lot of trouble recently. After ambitiously going for a new price model but in all the wrong ways, developers have been calling Unity out for being greedy. My question was, why did they think they could get away with this? So I had to dig through the news and the numbers. And after some research, I could kinda understand why they made this choice. And I could see just how bad it actually is. Previously, Unity had a flat price that was up to $1,500 a year. Now that's not too bad, considering how big the Unity community is and all the support that's provided. The new price? Well, Unity suggested an increase in the flat price plus a pay-per-download policy. And it's no small amount. You'd be paying up to 200 grand for 1 million downloads. Seriously, who'd be happy about this? Now, to be fair, if you're on the higher tier licenses, then 1 million downloads cost $46,500 for the first million and 10 grand for every million afterwards, which is technically a lot less than 200k. And Unity did back down, with an apology to postpone this to newer engine versions only. What's interesting about this apology though, is that they introduced a new 2.5% revenue split. Sound familiar? That's right, Unreal Engine, the other game engine Goliath, takes a 5% revenue cut. So why can Unreal get away with this and not Unity? Simple. If you look at all the fancy AAA games out there with cutting edge graphics, the majority of them are made with Unreal. And that's because the two engines are fundamentally different. Unreal provides cutting edge technology for hyper-realistic games made by teams of hundreds of people. I mean, this is possible with Unity, but you get what I mean. Unreal equals big companies, which means two things. One, big companies don't want to pay for a few hundred seats. That's a few $100,000 a year, a cost that can be completely skipped if they use Unreal. After all, you have no idea how well your game will do, so why prepay an expensive flat cost? Two, like I mentioned before, Unreal is simply better for AAA projects. And that's why there's a clear difference in the two engines' customer groups. Since Unity is a per seat model, it's much easier for smaller teams to pay that money, which is why it was the engine of choice for so many indie and solo devs. And since Unreal is used mostly by big corporations, it's just not a smart move to pick a fight with another big company like Epic, especially when you really don't have a second option. You're not going to spend months or even years teaching your several hundred engineers how to use Unity just because you're mad at Unreal. And from that perspective, Unity can technically be replaced more easily. It's also usually easier to express your thoughts online when you're representing only a handful of people. So it's time to get to the real deal. What was Unity thinking? Well, the story behind this is actually pretty multifold, so buckle up. Let's start with this. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty. After reaching almost $200 in 2021, Unity's stock price is currently sitting at about 1/7 of that. They've actually been losing money for over a year now, so who's to blame for all this? The first person that probably comes to mind is the CEO of Unity. After all, isn't the CEO the captain of the ship? Well, the current CEO of Unity, John Riccitiello, was actually the CEO since 2014. So unless he decided he wants to tank the company he's running, which, by the way, is pretty unlikely, he's probably not the right person to talk about. In fact, one of the most upvoted Reddit posts on the Unity subreddit blames Unity's acquisition of IronSource, a mobile ad tech startup. This post suggests that the acquisition involved additional investments for Unity, which introduced people to Unity's board of directors that steered Unity in its current direction. So maybe there's a lot of people to blame. Maybe Unity's run by a greedy group of people. Then the next question is, why did they choose a lower revenue share and add pay-per-downloads? I mean, pay-per-downloads sounds awful even on paper. There is no way they didn't know people were gonna hate it. Why didn't they just go for 5% like Unreal? Since Unity's for smaller games, what comes to mind for me are casual games and, more importantly, mobile games. There is a truckload of free mobile games out there. Imagine if you could get money from people just downloading these free games. And the revenue split ensures that Unity wins bigger bucks like Unreal for those massive hits, while being more generous than Unreal to keep people on Unity. Honestly though, it's basically a goldmine that Unity somehow chose to look away from for an impressively long amount of time. So, what am I getting at here? That Unity made the right decision? That money is king? No, not really. What I do want to say is that Unity's recent struggles are in line with the things news articles have been talking about all year. 2023 has been the year of massive layoffs, hiring freezes, and studios shutting down. Look at all this news. Something's definitely wrong. And honestly, it might seem like it doesn't matter if Unity sucks. But Unity is one of the staple engines that indie developers have used to create so many good games. And there's just so much collective knowledge about Unity. It's got a massive community that's created guides and shared so much information on how to make games. And the existence of such information encourages, even motivates, new developers to start their game development journey. Sure, people can just move to a new engine if Unity is just too evil, but that would set back indie game development because a good amount of that information won't translate to different engines, and it'll take time for people to document that on the internet again. And I want these indie games to keep proving to the world that it doesn't take a 500-person team to make a good game. So I guess this video is just me hoping that Unity doesn't kill the golden goose and that game devs stay strong. Thanks for watching.